Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. A human being. A human being. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. The state or fact of existing. A point of view gradually coming into being. A living thing that has, or can develop, the ability to act or function independently. Any entity that produces an effect or is responsible for events or results. Any entity that produces an effect or is responsible for events or results. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Cause a commotion. A comprehensive term for any proceeding in a court of law whereby an individual seeks a legal remedy. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. They worked in the cause of world peace. A justification for something existing or happening. He had no cause to complain. Events that provide the generative force that is the origin of something. They are trying to determine the cause of the crash. A living thing that has, or can develop, the ability to act or function independently. A system considered analogous in structure or function to a living body. The social organism. Any entity that produces an effect or is responsible for events or results. Grammar. A category of words having the same grammatical properties. Grammar. A category of words having the same grammatical properties. A system of assumptions and standards that sanction behavior and give it meaning. Formulate in a particular style or language. Make up plans or basic details for. Frame a policy. Construct by fitting or uniting parts together. Baseball. One of 9 divisions of play during which each team has a turn at bat. The hard structure, bones and cartilages, that provides a frame for the body of an animal. Take or catch as if in a snare or trap. The innocent man was framed by the police. Enclose in or as if in a frame. Frame a picture. A framework that supports and protects a picture or a mirror. The frame enhances but is not itself the subject of attention. The internal supporting structure that gives an artifact its shape. Alternative names for the body of a human being. A structure supporting or containing something. An application that divides the user's display into two or more windows that can be scrolled independently. A single drawing in a comic strip. A single one of a series of still transparent pictures forming a cinema, television or video film. Enclose in a frame, as of a picture. One of the 10 divisions into which bowling is divided. The framework for a pair of eyeglasses. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Leonardo studied the human body. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Make by combining materials and parts. Build or establish something abstract. Build a reputation. Constitution of the human body. Bolster or strengthen. Build up confidence. Form or accumulate steadily. Pressure is building up at the Indian-Pakistani border. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Be engaged in building. These architects build in interesting and new styles. Develop and grow. Suspense was building right from the beginning of the opera. Found or ground. Build a defense on nothing but the accused person's reputation. Give form to, according to a plan. Build a modern nation. Improve the cleansing action of. Build detergents. Order, supervise, or finance the construction of. The government is building new schools in this state. The branch of morphology that deals with the structure of animals. Alternative names for the body of a human being. A detailed analysis. He studied the anatomy of crimes. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Leafless East Indian vine. Its sour milky juice formerly used to make an intoxicating drink. Personification of a sacred intoxicating drink used in Vedic ritual. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Leonardo studied the human body. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. A soft moist part of a fruit. Remove adhering flesh from hides when preparing leather manufacture. The soft tissue of the body of a vertebrate, mainly muscle tissue and fat. One of the elements that collectively form a system of numeration. Judge to be probable. Be or play a part of or in. Elections figure prominently in every government program. A diagram or picture illustrating textual material. A decorative or artistic work. The property possessed by a sum or total or indefinite quantity of units or individuals. The figure was about 1,000. A well-known or notable person. She is an important figure in modern music. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Imagine. Conceive of. See in one's mind. Language used in a figurative or non-literal sense. Make a mathematical calculation or computation. A combination of points and lines and planes that form a visible palpable shape. A model of a bodily form, especially of a person. He made a figure of Santa Claus. An amount of money expressed numerically. A figure of $17 was suggested. A predetermined set of movements in dancing or skating. She made the best score on compulsory figures. A unitary percept having structure and coherence that is the object of attention and that stands out against a ground. The impression produced by a person. He cut a fine figure. Understand. He didn't figure her. Alternative names for the body of a human being. A metal mounting for the circuit components of an electronic device. The skeleton of a motor vehicle consisting of a steel frame supported on springs that holds the body and motor. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. Make something, usually for a specific function. Shape a figure. A concrete representation of an otherwise nebulous concept. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. He could barely make out their shapes. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. Geometry is the mathematical science of shape. The supreme headquarters that advises NATO on military matters and oversees all aspects of the Allied Command Europe. Give shape or form to. Shape the dough. Constitution of the human body. Alternative names for the body of a human being. He has a strong physique. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. The composition presents problems for students of musical form. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The inflected forms of a word can be represented by a stem in a list of inflections to be attached. Make something, usually for a specific function. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. A body of students who are taught together. Create, as an entity. Social groups form everywhere. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Sculpture is a form of art. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Develop into a distinctive entity. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. To compose or represent. This wall forms the background of the stage setting. Give shape or form to. Form the young child's character. Physical chemistry, a distinct state of matter in a system. Matter that is identical in chemical composition and physical state and separated from other material by the phase boundary. A mold for setting concrete. They built elaborate forms for pouring the foundation. An ability to perform well. He was at the top of his form. An arrangement of the elements in a composition or discourse. The essay was in the form of a dialogue. A particular mode in which something is manifested. His resentment took the form of extreme hostility. A printed document with spaces in which to write. He filled out his tax form. Assume a form or shape. The water formed little beads. Alternative names for the body of a human being. Engaged in or ready for military or naval operations. On active duty. Chemical agent capable of activity. Used of verbs, e.g., to run, and participial adjectives, e.g., running, in, running water, expressing action rather than a state of being. Taking part in an activity. An active member of the club. In operation. An active tradition. The voice used to indicate that the grammatical subject of the verb is performing the action or causing the happening denoted by the verb. The boy threw the ball uses the active voice. A person who is a participating member of an organization. The club issues a list of members, both the actives and the retirees. Characterized by energetic activity. An active toddler. Disposed to take action or effectuate change. A director who takes an active interest in corporate operations. Engaged in full-time work. Active duty. Exerting influence or producing a change or effect. An active ingredient. Expressing that the subject of the sentence has the semantic function of actor. Hemingway favors active constructions. Full of activity or engaged in continuous activity. An active seaport. Of e.g. volcanoes, capable of erupting. Of e.g. volcanoes, erupting or liable to erupt. Active volcanoes. Of the sun, characterized by an increased occurrence of sunspots and flares and radio emissions. Tending to become more severe or wider in scope. Active tuberculosis. A person who acts and gets things done. He's a principal actor in this affair. A theatrical performer. A person who studies and settles conflicts and disputes. Someone who admires a young woman. She had many admirers. A person who backs a politician or a team, etc. A person who admires. Someone who esteems or respects or approves.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.